Holy Gospel according to Luke, the 2nd chapter. Now, every year, Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up, as usual, for the festival. When the festival was ended, they started to return. The boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but his parents did not know it. Assuming that he was in the group of travelers, they went a day's journey. Then they started to look for him among the relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem to search for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard it were amazed at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. But his mother said to him, "Child, why have you treated us like this? Look, your father and I have been searching for you with great anxiety." Jesus replied, "Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house?" But Mary and Joseph did not understand what he had said to them. Then he went down with them and came to Nazareth and was obedient to them. His mother treasured all these things in her heart, and Jesus increased in wisdom and in years and in divine and human favor. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
Driving home from church last Sunday, I saw a license plate that is particularly fitting for the birth announcement I just made. It is the state of Michigan's education plate, and I took the title of the slogan on the plate as the title for this morning's message. It says, "Kids, you just gotta love them." The temptation here is for me to get all serious on you and say that it is our Christian duty to love the children God has given us to love, and that is what we do when we are a part of their educational process, both spiritually and academically. That is what we do when we reach out and love the children who are our own, and especially, I think, we are following Christ when we reach out and love and try to touch children who do not belong to us. You ought to know, whether you want to or not, that I think that's what God was leading us to do when he brought St. John's and Parkview together. I don't often talk like this, but I believe deep down in my heart that this was an act of God's Spirit, and that it was never about the money, but about this church's need to have a mission. But that's for another Sunday. Today, we have before us one of my most favorite passages in all of Scripture. Traditionally, this Sunday has been called the Feast of the Holy Family and set aside to celebrate Joseph and Mary and Jesus and their life together. How this gospel got picked for this Sunday is a puzzle to me, because when you look at it, in this story, the Holy Family is not looking particularly holy. In fact, this is looking a great deal like a Nelson family outing. There is confusion and running around, yelling, and a lost child, and a city-wide search. There is also a whole lot of overspinning by theologians who try to make this comic opera narrative into one that fits our romantic Christmas card notion of what a holy family should be like. So let's just let the story speak to us this morning, and we will see ourselves and our families come alive on the pages of Holy Scripture. First, it was a tradition to make a pilgrimage to Jerusalem for the Passover celebration. And Mary and Joseph and their extended families are keeping this tradition. It's important to note that this was not a journey that very many families in those days made alone. In the case of Mary and Joseph, they had settled back in Nazareth, rejoined their community, and now were part of a procession of pilgrims from that community who made the trip to Jerusalem. Don't think of this as a solitary nuclear family vacation, but a group outing that is made up of a large number of relatives and friends. If you do that, you can see why what happened. When the group picks up and leaves for home, they assume that everybody is present and accounted for. If Jesus isn't with his parents, he is more likely with an aunt or an uncle or a neighbor. It's okay. Somebody has him, and he'll find his way to his parents eventually. But a full day goes by, and the kid is still a no-show. It doesn't take much imagination to hear the yelling starting. I thought you had him. I thought he was with you. Did you leave him with your crazy Uncle Louie who has no sense of direction? Anyone who is a parent or who has ever been charged with the care of a child knows about the mixture of fear and anger Mary and Joseph must have felt. The overwhelming fear that something might have happened to their son. But also the anger of a parent who says, I hope he's okay, because when I find him, I'm going to kill that kid. I hope that doesn't come as a shock to you, but if it does, I need to tell you that the Bible is full of real people. People who react to events and circumstances the same way that we do. Mary and Joseph may have been the serene people of prayer that we see in picture books and statutes, but at this moment, I cannot imagine that their souls and psyches are the seats of serenity. A frantic search begins among the friends and the relatives. Tensions mount, nerves fray, and it becomes apparent that Jesus is nowhere to be found. Mary and Joseph decide that there is only one thing to do: return to Jerusalem in the fervent hope that this very special child will turn up there.